news, he's reacting for you. They smile in your face all the time, but Big Hink's here to set it straight. Hit like, drop a comment, and subscribe to Big Hink with the real news vibe. Stories on the line and the streets wanna talk. Truth in the video, watch the people walk. Every headline heavy, every clip it breaks down. Big Ink bringing clarity, truth all around. They smile in your face. Oh yeah, but the lies can't hide from the light today. So hit like, drop a comment, and subscribe to Big Ink where the real ones ride. Big Ink where the real ones ride. Big Ink, yeah, well, yeah. Current news, every angle, every side. Big Ink got the vision that you can't deny. In a world full of noise, let the channel be a guide. He break it down real, nothing watered inside. So when the world try to trick you, mislead you, misguide, Big Ink tell it straight, truth will always survive. So support the movement, keep the message alive. Hit like, comment, subscribe. They smile in your face, but truth still wins. Big Ink don't expose the game they in. So hit like, drop a comment, and subscribe. Big Hink's perspective, keep the realness alive. Tell them the truth now.
Good Wednesday, good Wednesday, good Wednesday. We back here again, baby. But unfortunately, in my city, in my state, man, we had some tragic things happen yesterday. So for those who may not know or may be under a rock or just not paying attention to what's going on in the world, we had a plane which crashed, which never even got to leave the runway. And unfortunately, a lot of people's lives was lost. So far, the death tolls are up to 12, and unfortunately, one of them was a child. Right now, they still have 11 injured. But a bit of good news that the fire was put out as fast as possible, so it didn't linger on for long periods of time. Had over 200 firefighters out there, first responders out there to answer the call. So shout out to them. I want to take a moment of silence for those who no longer with us due to that tragic situation. Definitely tragic. So let's have a moment of silence. With that being said, man, let's get back to it. Now, as you all know, we are still going through the government shutdown, right? It hasn't ended. There's been some somewhat good news. I mean, a judge has persuaded the president to go ahead and open some things up. So use some of the money in order to help those who are receiving food stamps. SNAP. Unfortunately, it's not going to really be enough. So those who are receiving snaps only going to get half of what they normally get. And as of right now, they only get up to 30% for some people. Of course, now I'm sure it's going to depend on your situation. But right now, that's where we're at. That's the latest update that we have. So some people will be receiving SNAP soon at a reduced amount, approximately half. You know what I'm saying? That's what they're saying, approximately half. Additionally, the SNAP net monthly income will be reduced to 30%. This means that about 24,000 families will not receive benefits for this month. So that's pretty much where we stand at as of right now. So for those who don't know, it's like, what is a government shutdown, right? You know, that's the question. Some people may not know. Now, I'm sure you're probably hearing all type of things on your local social media, maybe your news or your newspaper. If any of you cats are still reading a newspaper or watching news on the television. Yeah. Every year, September the 30th, Congress must pass 12 bills to fund the federal government. Every year. If the government shuts down until the funding is approved. During the shutdown, many federal agencies, like the Housing, Urban Development, or Labor, pause most of their works, and thousands of federal employees are furloughed, temporarily sent home without pay. Essential service such as the national security, social security payments continues. This is due to because Congress do not agree on the fiscal year funding levels by midnight September the 30th. The government shuts down. During that shutdown, Congress will be negotiating to get the government up and running as soon as possible. But unfortunately for us, they couldn't. So as of October the 1st, the government's been shut down. Now, unfortunately, a lot of people's being affected by it. A lot of families, a lot of individuals, a lot of elderly. Those who have certain handicaps are being affected. Those who are government employees that would be considered non-essential are being affected. To the point, some of them not even coming in. So when you go to the airport and you having delays or cancellation, TSA is part of that shutdown that's being affected. Now, are they supposed to work? Yeah. Some are calling in because they feel like they're just working for free. And I promise you, nobody wants that. But unfortunately, that's what some of the government employees are doing or have to do. So the next question is, what does Congress need to do to end this shutdown? Well, Congress needs to pass the final funding bills to change the negotiated deadlines and or a combination of both. That's what they got to do. So with this shutdown, with these things affecting those who are, we consider, less fortunate, some people are not taking it well. Some people are threatened to do certain things because they're not getting their public assistance or government assistance. Now, when you hear about stuff like that, they ready to go steal, rob, take, pillage the local stores, the local grocery stores, the local markets, some of the local businesses, because they want to feed their kids. Well, let me say this. What if so happens you get caught? What is that going to do for your kids? You get caught, you go to jail. What's that going to do for your kids? Your kids not going to benefit from you going to jail. Say you did get away with it the first time, but now they got a paper trail on you because they got your face. And now the next time they see you, they're going to be ready, more prepared. So as soon as you walk through them doors, they already gone to police. So how are you helping your kids that way when you're going to be going to jail? And what if you don't have nobody who can keep your kids while you're in jail? Not everybody has that privilege. But unfortunately, some people not thinking, I'm moving and operating like that. They thinking off emotion. I'm just going to go ahead and do what I need to do. Nah, you doing that because you wanted to do that. You did that because you're looking for a reason to do that. So what I want to talk about today, some of these things that are really going on in my state. Now, the programs I'm going to talk about, every state has these programs. It's just called something different, right? It's just called something different. So the programs I'm going to be speaking on are no different from the ones in state of Ohio, state of Indiana, state of Michigan, state of Illinois. You know what I'm saying? Vermont. It doesn't matter, whatever state. They're going to have the same programs. It's just going to be under a different name, a different title. That's it. But they pretty much do the same thing. So with that being said, let's go over some of the government programs that's going to be affected and some of the people who's going to be affected by these government programs. One of them is Medicaid and KCHIP. That's what they call it here in Kentucky, right? So most of us know what Medicaid is. It's your medical provider, right? It's a federal program that provides medical coverage for eligible low-income families. Not low-income individuals, as well as family, children, pregnant women, and people who has disabilities, right? So that's what that pretty much is. And at KCHP is the same thing. That's what we call it here in Kentucky. Those are one of the programs that's going to be affected. Now, is it affecting me directly? No. Indirectly, yes, because I have family members who deal with this, who's on Medicaid, right? And you don't want to see them go without, right? They're not, I'm not talking about family members out here abusing, healthy, could get up and go. I'm talking about my grandmother. She's almost, she's in her late 90s. But this affects her, right? It's just unfortunate that they have to do this. Those individuals who's relying on certain government benefits. Now, they may not all rely on everything, right? Everything may not be applicable to them, right? They may not need the EBT or certain other benefits like Section 8, but there's certain things about the government assistance that they do need. And so a lot of my family members are being affected, and that's the Medicaid. Unfortunately, that's part of that government assistance that some of my family members are being affected by. Another benefit is the SNAP program. Of course, we was talking about that earlier and how they're going to issue out a portion. But still, you're going to have at least 24,000 families that's not going to get these monies. Not everybody's going to get them. And I'm sure they're going to prioritize from the individuals who get it. And so for those people who trying to fill out paperwork, they're not in applications to apply for some of these benefits. They're not doing that right now. It's on hold due to the government shutdown. So SNAP is a supplemental nutrition and assistance program. Provides benefits to help low-income families to afford groceries, right? And so this is another government entity that's not, or that's affecting family members. And like I said, I do have family members who uses that. So another one is WIC, which stands for Women, Infants, and Children. Offer nutritional support for low-income pregnant, breastfeeding, and non-breastfeeding postpartum women. And to the infants and children up to the age of 5 who are found to be at nutritional risk. So I remember back in the days when my daughter was young, she benefited. She benefited from the SNAP, of course. We would call it food stamps, as well as WIC. So right now, unfortunately, a lot of people is being affected by that. New mothers who can't afford to pay for the formula and all that. And so with this WIC program, that allows you to get a voucher. Unfortunately, children are born every day. And there's going to be some children who are not going to be able to get the things that they need. Now, maybe, I know back in the days, the hospital usually had like a small supply, give you samples, but that's not going to last long. They maybe give you something to last maybe about a week or two. But you also got to remember, kids are born every day. And there's a lot of families that do need these things. And unfortunately, they may not be able to do it because the supply is so low. I know at my workplace, they're doing a program and we're asked to bring in non-perishable foods to try to help out. You know, it's just one of these things, every little bit counts. Every little bit counts. So with that being said, I need for y'all to do me a favor. Hit that like button. Push that goddamn button. Hit that like button right now, guys. I appreciate every last one of you are here. You're going to be watching on the replay. Are you watching it live right now? Hit that like button. So guys, with some of these programs that I went over so far, these are things that are being affected. These are families that will be affected. Now, they have programs at certain schools, and they offer free food, and they always and a program, a backpack program where they will put kids who have come from low income households, low income families, or low income schools. They will automatically get free lunch in my city. So those little things that help. And I remember doing this because I remember, you know, when I was part of the PTA, they talk about these little things, asking for volunteers to help hand out this stuff. And one of the things was they would, like I said, load a backpack up, give you about 5 days worth of food. So you'll get breakfast and you'll get, you know, instead of lunch or maybe dinner, whichever one you choose to. And I'm telling you, the food's not good. It's not. But if you don't have anything, man, it's like a cuisine. I mean, it's like a hella spread for some of those who don't have it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't like it. Didn't taste well to me. There's certain things I would eat, but think about doing COVID. They was handing out for everybody. It didn't matter if you was low income. you came by the designated schools, they will ask you how many kids you have, and they will make sure they provide you with some food for them. And not only just the kids, they ask you how many people's in the house. So during COVID, of course, during that time, it was 3 people in our house: me, my ex-wife, and my son. And so they would give give you a box or whatever the case may be. And even during the holiday times, they was giving out turkeys. So people who was volunteering, helping out, they always gave them a turkey. People who volunteered, helped out, giving out food, they was always, make sure you get something for yourself. And that was a good thing. Say you out there working, you know, doing what you got to do to help the community out, but they always want to make sure that you get a little something too. Now, I ain't gonna lie, I didn't like the juice. The juice. I mean, they give you that juice that had no sugar in it. I mean, it was just ugh. But some of the things I did get, like the cereal. I remember they gave me a little sample thing, but the thing about that big little travel thing of like Honey Nut Cheerios and stuff like that. Any of them cereals that they have no sugar in it, they gave. So I always make sure I get the cereal and then the little 2% milk. That's my style of milk anyway. And I would get that and eat it. What I'm saying, go about my business. I wouldn't try to kill them out. I just look, give me some of them cereal. I take it to work, eat them at work, and call it a day. But like I said, when we was giving it out, during the holiday time, Christmas and Thanksgiving, one of the individuals that was giving it out, man, they gave out turkeys, got you about, to the point where they gave you like pretty much a whole meal you could just fix yourself. Got turkey in there, 2 gallons of 2% milk, some celery. Pretty much to make a good Thanksgiving dinner, right? So they was handing those out to the families, and of course, they always looked at how many workers they have. We put one each of a box aside. They always had extra boxes because what it was we always had the giveaways during the work hours. So I volunteered for like for 2 hours, and of course it was through the company, and so the company asked to use one of our vehicles. So then I had my access to a flatbed and a floor jack to get the stuff off the refrigerated truck that they brought it in. That's what we did. So I brought down a flatbed truck with a floor dolly. We took it off and went that way. So once we unloaded the refrigerated truck that had delivered, we put, we kept like I think we was able to fit at least 2 on the truck, So these people came in shifts, right? They all had time slots. So you had signed up, but you had 2 hours in order to come get your stuff. If you came after your time, then you couldn't get it. You had to, I'm just say you couldn't get it. You have to wait. You'd be last. And if there was something left, then you were able to get it. If there wasn't none left, then you just asked out, because we put it on time slot, because you don't want people to come down there overwhelming you and stuff like that. That's what you didn't want. People come over here fighting and get testy and all that. And so those are some of the things that we was dealing with during that time period. But it all worked out because we always, like I said, had extra. So a couple of places we took down to, like a place called the Home of Innocence down here. We took it to the homeless shelter over off Jefferson Street, close to downtown Louisville down here. Those are some of the things that we end up doing with the extra stuff. But like I said, they always make sure everybody who volunteered got one, which was cool. You know what I'm saying? So saved me from going to buy a turkey. I'm trying to think of that time. Was turkeys wasn't expensive then? I don't know. It probably could. It may have been. I can't really recall. But those are some of the things we had to do. What's going on, Ty? Hopefully all is well with you, man. Look at this. Look at this guy. Nobody gives a damn about them Cowboys. Did you lose the last game you played? But those are some of the things that was done. And so pretty much the same concept is going right now. Now, it's a little more dire due to the government shutdown, right? Because with the government shutdown, you got some people who, and I asked this question before, what about the people who's government employees who's on furlough, but they not getting a check? They're no different than people who was on EBT. They're not. They both without. Now, they got a little bit more money because they don't qualify for these certain benefits, but doesn't mean they're not doing without. They're not getting a check. They're not getting paid. So what are they supposed to do? You know, I got sympathy for them too. For those who people had to go to work and not get a check, that's a tough ask. I can't front. That's a tough ask. But you got people out here doing that. But then in the same breath, you got people crying about they ready to go tear the streets up, get locked up, get a paper trail on them, catch some jail time on some bull crap. Matter of fact, we had an incident at the old Kroger where I used to live by, and they set some toilet paper on fire down in one of the aisles on Kroger's. Now, thank God it didn't set off the sprinklers, because imagine all them sprinklers going off in the store and pretty much ruin everything they have. That would be bad. But one of the employees was able to get the fire extinguisher, put it out in time so the fire extinguisher didn't go off. So, you know, a lot of stock wasn't ruined due to that situation. Now, was it somebody on eBay? I don't know. That detail never came out. But the mindset of some of these people, and some of these people get on social media. And I know some of these people doing it for clout. Some of these people doing it for views. They just doing it to get some attention. It's just not real. But please believe you me, there's some old wacko out there that's ready to do some stupid shit just to get some shit started, just looking for a reason. I'm not gonna say all this shit ain't real. I'm not gonna say that some of these people ain't trying to push an agenda. AI takeover for job benefits cuts Americans need universal income ASAP. But it's just really unfortunate that we're going through this right now. Right? It really is. I was on the show the other day, and one of the questions was, well, what immigrants are getting these benefits? Well, the Cuban and Haitians are. Due to an agreement we have with these countries. They are getting these benefits automatic. They're qualified for them. So, sit there and say, "Oh, who's getting this?" Well, somebody is. Doesn't look. Unfortunately, there's a lot of our people suffering out here who are not getting these benefits that they truly deserve or need. Now, I'm not going to sit there and say I understand the shutdown. I understand people who are abusing it and they want to try to thin those people out. I definitely agree with that. I definitely understand it. Because when you got people who's out there abusing it, taking advantage of it, yeah, it's kind of hard to have sympathy for them people, right? It's kind of hard to have a a soft spot in your heart for those people because you out here grinding, putting it in, getting it in, doing 8 to 12 hours, maybe a day, 40 to 60 hours a week, and you blood, sweat, and tears. Take your little check, go to the store, got to make it work, got to stretch your dollars. That shit ain't always fun, especially if you're doing it by yourself. You ain't got no husband, you ain't got no wife, you just doing this all by yourself. You got all these kids. That could be challenging, right? But you make just enough over the threshold, you can't get these benefits. So back in the day, you used to call them the working poor. You really don't make enough to do what you need to do, but you really make too much to get these benefits, to get what some of these other people are getting. And it's just unfortunate. So some people are stuck in a rock and hard place. Those who out here talking about, well, I'm gonna get mine. Please believe me, I promise you. I know they probably got some people out there who are not getting those benefits, and they feel the same way. But guess what? They getting up every morning, getting up in the evening, going to work in a second job, maybe even a third job, doing things to supplement your income some type of way because they know they're trying to keep their head above water. They don't have the privileges that to those who are income based, who don't have the opportunity to get these government assistance. But at the same time, they don't want to feel like they're being handicapped or stuck or being held back for whatever reason. Hey guys, for those who just came in, please, man, do me a solid and make sure you hit that like button. My man Zuma said, "What's good, man? Ain't nothing happening. Just having a conversation about this government shutdown. I ain't gonna go long tonight, but I just want to talk about it a little bit, just get my point of view, especially from my home state and how some of my family members, uh, people who I know, are being affected from it." Why is that politicians hijacking American citizens' food just to get their way? Yeah, they look. Let me say this: how they definitely trying to send a message. Trump got that order the other day, man. He still ain't released that money yet. He trying to send the message. He said we not going to send it out to these Democrats agree with the deal. I'm just saying, man. Guys, y'all got to make sure y'all be careful out here. I share my wife. I don't want you going shopping at night, late at night, going grocery shopping. It's not worth it. Because no telling what these crazy people may try to do. They said, well, we ain't going to steal or rob inside the grocery store. We'll just catch some people coming out slipping. And at the end of the day, your life ain't worth these damn bags. Nothing about your life is worth these bags. Nothing. But some of these individuals are willing to go out there and do some crime. But when they get caught, they ain't gonna be willing to do the time. Oh, what about my babies? Guys, y'all didn't think about that before you was getting your shiesty mask ready to go out there and run through the stores and just take what you want and talk about I ain't gonna pay for it, I'm just walking out. You didn't think about your babies then. Now that they doing them government bracelets on your ass, now all of a sudden you worry about your babies. You spend worry about your babies when you was meant to go in there and commit a crime. You should have thought about that before you decide to go out there and get shit. You go out there and go out there sticking up the grocery store and just running out with your boo-boo and your bonnet on. When you dudes out there trying to rob the grocery stores with your shiesty mask and your Crocs, put them in the sports mode. You should have thought about that. But you didn't. You out there trying to get some short ribs and shit. And some chicken breasts. No, dog. Should have thought about that. When they throw in your face on the concrete talking about police brutality. Ain't no police brutality. Your dumb ass should be out here trying to steal chicken wings and shit. And Coronas. With some cherry Kool-Aid. Should have been doing that. What you should have been doing is trying to find a way to supplement your income, get some more money somewhere else. Maybe go out and get a temporary job for a minute or two until this thing clears up. I get some of that tax-free money. Do some odd work. Maybe, hey, go out here and say, hey, man, look here, I'll babysit the kids for about the rest of the week. Just give me a couple $100 instead of paying it to the daycare. Should have been doing something. You know what I'm saying? Going to these food places where they're offering food and any assistance that may be available to you. Should have been doing that. Should have been getting right with the Lord, or maybe with your churches, and talk to some of your fellow members who may be more blessed. Maybe see if they can do something for you. Go to these food pantries, get some food, ask for some assistance. Little things like that. Look, during these times, you can't have no pride. If hungry, go into the store, make a peanut butter sandwich, eat it at the store, and don't walk out. Your thug life ass, what's wrong with you? Guys, let me tell you this. They've been talking about this shutdown, and I know y'all thought it wasn't going to happen. We're going to get it all together before it actually kicks in. So what you probably should have been doing is budgeting whatever food stamps you had left on your card. Stock up on the food that you could before the shutdown, but guess what they didn't do? They didn't do that. They thought it was going to be there when it get there. Well, it better be. Well, you going to tell somebody it better be. What you going to do? You going to go fight the government? You ain't going to do shit. You going to beg and plead that man that open the floodgates of the EBT card in. That's what you're going to do. You know what? Come on, man. Ain't doing all that. We understand. We know this. Look, another system going to be been affected. Of course, like I said, is in my state is a child care assistance. Help family to pay child care costs. Kentucky Head Start provides comprehensive early childhood education, nutrition, and parent involvement services for low-income children and their families. So these are some of the other programs that's being missed out. Work-ready Kentucky scholarships to help Kentuckiana get the training they need for high-demand jobs. Student financial aid assistance is available for students attending college. Home and community-based service support for individuals who are aged and have a disabilities and need long-term support to remain at home. So those people who may have mental or physical disabilities who are get support and their families are eligible to get certain support so they can stay home, even as adults. So some of these things affects my kids, like FAFSA. That's a government program that affects the kids. So for those who don't know anything about FAFSA for any individuals planning on going to college and that offering all type of programs and scholarships that these kids can apply or individuals can apply for, because it could be adults going back. Individuals that apply for, and the opening date starts around October. So now the paperwork is going to move a little slower than normal because of this government shutdown. Some of these things affect people. Team Kentucky Funds provides financial vouchers up to $1,000 for rent, mortgage, groceries, and utilities for eligible applicants. Rental and utility assistance programs may help with past due rent and utility bills. LIHEAP. Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program. Helps with utility bills and low income households. So a lot of these programs, man, these people really need. And another one is this KTEP, which is called Kentucky Transitional Assistance Program, provides temporary cash and medical assistance to eligible low-income families with children. Now, those are things that's offered in my state, but they are offered in other states. They just call something different. You just got to know whatever the program is in your prospective state and check it out. So when the government does open up, and if you're, you're eligible due to your financial situation or your physical situation, make sure you apply for these programs. Now, I'm gonna tell you, use them as an opportunity to get yourself in a frame of mind where you can start taking care of yourself. Don't be dependent on these things, because that's when the issues come in, right? Because when you dependent on these things, that's when they become a crutch for you. Think the government's about to release some SNAP benefits, but they will only get half of what they got before, with more eligible rules to follow. Yes, I read about that a little bit earlier. Guys, do me a favor, hit that like button for me, please. So with these government shutdowns and people being affected everywhere, I just hope this is a wake-up call for some people. I know it's not going to be a wake-up call for everybody. I already know it's not. Y'all going to see Billy saying trifling motherfuckers y'all being. Right? Some of y'all just going to be trifling, sitting on your ass, ain't going to try to do anything, just trying to wait it out. I understand that. It's in you. It's who you are. You trifling motherfuckers. It is what it is. Shame on you. But for those people who's using it for what it's be used for, and that's a temporary thing, something to hold you over, to hold you through, to get you past the hard times you may be in and dealing with right now. Let this be a way you can speed up your process, whatever process you're going through. Let this be a way for you to acknowledge, yeah, I'm better off not dealing with this shit. I'm better not off by not being limited on how much money I can make or bring home, or income I could produce. It was nice while it lasted. It was okay while it lasted, but I can't keep relying on individuals who's not going to have the best for me. I can't depend on somebody else to take care of me like I'm going to take care of me. Love my kids, feed my kids, make sure my kids are well off. I can't do that. But unfortunately, a lot of people are doing this. Daddy government is just going to take her. Heard somebody say, "Daddy's snap is like taking breath out of their body." That's the wildest shit I ever heard, but that's what they talking about. That shit sound crazy. The individuals moving and operating like it, and you can see it by the way they talk. They don't want to do nothing. They don't want to better themselves. They just want to be complacent. I'm not for it, man. I'm not with it. I'm just not with it, man. I want nothing but the best for me and my family. So I'm gonna try to encourage them to do the best they can and not rely on somebody like this. Not if they don't have to. Well, I say, yep, it's a wake-up call for men and women who don't have kids. It should be. Situations like this is like a harsh reality check. It really is. And it should let you know. But these hard times, a situation like this, who's to say it can't happen this time next year? And it may go longer than 35 to 36 days. Is that what we're going to do? Wait for the governor to bail us out again? Are we going to look at this as an opportunity to learn, to grow, to move forward, and to help us as a people do better? I would hope that will be the case. But like I said, not everybody's going to make it. Not everybody built to put that work in. Not everybody's built to handle the pressures. A lot of people going to fold like a lawn chair. They just going to fold because they're not built for it. And so that's unfortunate, but that's what it is. Just make sure your family, people who you can touch, who belongs to you and your tribe, make sure they in a good place. Make sure they mentally prepare for this, physically and emotionally prepare for this, and not going to be all dependent on this government system to take care of them throughout the rest of the years of their life. Trevor One, I hope you hit the like button while you passing through, man. Coasted by to say greetings, Mr. and Mrs. Hink, and to say have a nice evening together. The shutdown is Hink getting political now. Look, let me say this, Trevor One, you with your crazy self. It's not about getting political, but at the same time, I dip a dab into politics. I just don't talk about it much, right? Just like religion, I just don't talk about it much. I just don't. But doesn't mean I don't pay attention. Doesn't mean I'm not listening. Or making sure I'm knowledgeable about certain things that I feel like I need to be knowledgeable about. But I just don't want to, most times these situations turn into a damn argument drag. I ain't got time for that. I believe what I believe. I stand on what I stand on. And I'm not moving. I'm not. So with that being said, make sure y'all hit that like button. Especially you, Travel, when you be holding back on the likes. I'm sick of this. I deserve better, ma'am. So you hit that damn like button too. I mean, it's just some things that we got to deal with as a folks, man. We really do. So if you go to your next family reunion, you know, this subject comes up about the government shutdown and all this. Make sure you talk to your family members. Make sure you talk to your peoples. Say, hey, you know, what did you learn from this? What did you grow? Did you prosper? Did you make some adjustments? Did you make some change? Or did you just wait for daddy come to sit around and shuck and jive and pay you and hopefully cross your fingers for next year that this don't happen again? Because guess what? It could. It's not guaranteed that it's not. It's not guaranteed. So, guys, with that being said, I'm going to have a special show tomorrow. My son has a basketball game, and I'm hoping that I can stream it like I did last season. Because last season I was able to stream some of his games. So y'all make sure y'all definitely tune in. Tomorrow I'm gonna be streaming my son's basketball game. He's got a basketball game. Game starts at 8. I'll probably start a little bit earlier than that, of course. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna stream the game. I'm gonna make sure present to y'all. Hopefully I can get it. I mean, if I have to buy a ticket to stream it for that day, I'll do that for y'all guys. I wouldn't do it for nobody else, but for you guys, I will. But guys, with that being said, like I said, it wasn't gonna be a long show, but I just definitely want to have a conversation about this, make some people aware who may not be aware. Want to get people to think of talking about this, who people normally don't talk about this, and have this exchange and all that good stuff, because it needs to be talked about. It needs to be discussed. Or discussed, I'm sorry, not discussed it. Discussed. Conversations need to be had with your significant others, with your kids, with your family, everybody, right? So, guys, with that being said, I appreciate every last one of you guys. If you're watching it on the replay, make sure you hit that like button. If you're watching it live right now, like my buddy Travel One, hit that damn button. If you decide you're going to cloud watch and going to hit the like button, I'll be damned. Hit that like button. So, with that being said, I appreciate every last one of you guys who came tonight. And I will catch you beautiful people on the next one. Right on.